People continue dialogue and dispute over other worlds. Are we the only one that exists in the cosmos, in the universe? Is there other planets that hold life? How about the other stars that are bigger than this one, which we call the suns? Well, the Creator, he tells the numbers of the stars, and he called them all by name. Psalms 147, verse 4. There is a heaven, and then there is a heaven that holds many heavens, but all throughout it all, it cannot contain God. 1 Kings 8:20. What happened to us when we die? When we depart from this world, do we actually exit this world as a living soul? Well, the graves were opened after the death of Jesus Christ. Many saints which slept arose, and they came out of the graves and went into the holy city, only to appear unto many. Matthew 27, verses 52 through 53. I wonder, which world did they descend from when they came back on the earth, only to testify to those in the holy city, which accordingly Jerusalem, only to bring them to their attention that that was Jesus Christ. How far can men travel with the speed of light? How many light years does it take to get to our nearest star, Proxima Centauri? Proxima Centauri is 4.2 light years away. 1 light year is 6 trillion miles. I guess this is why they call it space. And yet, although it's 6 trillion miles, 1 light year, and it takes 4 years to get to the nearest star? Well, this according to Albert Einstein with his special theory of relativity. How about other planets? We'll go beyond. When we leave this world, there are many beautiful stars out there. Do not forget the much massive stars they call dark stars. A big ball of helium. Are we alone in this world? Are we the only one that exists? Are there other lives to encounter? Something that may be more mesmerizing. Is there a wormhole? Is there a portal to enter? Well, Ezekiel chapter 1 and also chapter 10, he informed us that there were creatures and they were moving in the wheel, in the middle of a wheel. Apparently, he was identifying a object that could fly because it had lights surrounding it. How about Job chapter 38, verse 31? He began to say, can you bind the chains of Pleiades or loosen the belt of Orion? So he was speaking on behalf of the stars, the constellation. These things we begin to view once we look at the panoramic of the trillions of stars through the telescope. It's infinite. It's unending. How about this solar system we have? This sun, which we call our star. This ball of fire of helium and hydrogen. And yet it gravitates a planet called Saturn, which holds over 140 moons, from Pandora to the biggest one called Titan. How impressive and amazing it is when considering Earth itself only have 1 moon to view. Can you imagine over 140 moons have its chance to be eclipsed? We go on to learn that Revelation, the 20th chapter, verse 3, for it says that God has cast into the bottomless pit the devil, and he was to remain there for 1,000 years. How about this? And then he was cast into a lake of fire. Revelation 20, verse 10. Well, the flood of Noah in this world, where are they? Are they in the cosmos yet? Or is the sea still holding them? Well, the sea gave up the dead, and death and hell deliver up the dead to be judged. Revelation 20, verse 13. Verse 14, death and hell was cast into the lake of fire. So there's a world that's whole death. There is a paradise where we all should be called up to meet Jesus in the air. And this is when the graves were open. We began to realize that there are numerous planets that holds life. The devil would apparently visit several planets, and one of them is the abyss, and the existing one, hell, and then it should be finalized with judgment in the lake of fire. Of course, after being kicked out of heaven, well, shall we say, banned or exiled. These are the amazing creation of God Almighty. There's somewhere out there that we will one day begin to ascend. Yes, we will leave this planet only to get to the heaven, where God himself will be dwelling, living. Somewhere in the Father's house, according to John 14, in my Father's house are many mansions. And last but not least, then we have Duncan McDougall in 1907. Oh yes, 1907. The 21 grams theory, whereas he ended up deciding to weigh the body once it began to die. People on their sick bed. And the reason why it was called 21 grams, because people were departing from their bodies and they would lose anywhere between 19 to 25 grams, and the average out to be 21. And so it was proven that there was a soul to depart from the bodies. Many people began to dispute, other scientists, of course he was a physician, and they began to decide, like, we are not going anywhere up in that universe or in the cosmos. We die, it's over. Who to say that that was the soul? So he decided to weigh 15 dogs, and they did not lose 1 ounce. So dogs do not go to heaven. In the meantime, we know that out in space, there are other lives. Ex-Ezekiel, ex-Elijah, who received his transportation. And in the meantime, I'm waiting on my transportation. When we should depart from this world in the twinkling of an eye, no one knows the day, nor the hour, not even angels. So be very circumspect. Be very cautious towards all aspects of life. And in the meantime, remain being careful and be safe out there.